Hello students, I welcome you all in your environmental engineering laboratory. So this laboratory is being established for the testing of contaminants that affects humans, environment and wildlife. Then particularly this lab includes the testing of water and testing of air. Water testing includes testing of raw water as well as testing of wastewater. The water which we collect from different sources is being tested first and then it is being supplied for drinking purpose. Or wastewater that we generate at domestics or in the industrial, that is being treated first and then it is being disposed, right? So this laboratory has sophisticated equipments to analyze the pollution parameters in water, wastewater and air. So if you have to analyze the parameters of water, wastewater and air, then this lab has sufficient or sophisticated equipments for that. Now you must be thinking that what is environmental engineering and what is the role of an environmental engineer. So environmental engineer, basically he investigate and solve the problems at interface between humans and their environment. So whatever the problems are there with drinking water or the generation of wastewater, where it is to be disposed, how it is to be disposed, they investigate the problem related to the environment and they give the solution, right? Then environmental engineering work to make the water safe for drinking. In simple terms, you can say it as this is the task of an environmental engineer to investigate the water quality parameters and to make the water safe for drinking. Proper treatment. Now proper treatment can be given only after testing the parameters of water, right? Once the parameters are known, once the known contaminants are known, then only the proper treatment can be given, right? As well as the disposal of wastewater to improve air quality. So these all are the role of an environmental engineer. This is how the environmental engineer do his work, right? He check or investigate and give the solutions to the problem which has an interaction between humans and environment. Like we have interaction with air, we have interaction with water, and the wastewater that we generate, all the problems related to that will be resolved or solved by an environmental engineer. Now let's come down to the list of experiments of environmental engineering lab. So first of all, the very important thing, the code that we'll be using for water testing specifically is 3025-2001. This is the code for water testing. Now for air and for wastewater, we have different sets of Indian standard codes that has to be followed specifically for testing. Now the procedure for all the experiments is already being mentioned in Indian standard codes, that how they are to be tested, the parameters, and what should be the standard values for these parameters for drinking water, so that there should not be any contamination which can be consumed by humans or can affect the health of humans as well as wildlife, right? So starting from the first experiment is to determine the turbidity of a given water sample. Now turbidity means, if in simple terms I have to say that what do you mean by turbidity? Turbidity is melapan. That is the water, because of this turbidity in water, the water obstruct the light passing through it, right? And if the turbidity is more, then the aquatic life in water will be affected, right? If the sunlight will not reach to the aquatic life, then that means the water has turbidity or the aquatic life will be in danger if that sunlight, sun rays or light will not reach to the bottom of the reservoir or a pond, right? So it depends upon turbidity. If the turbidity is high, the light will not reach to the bottom of the tank, bottom of the river, bottom of the lake, pond. So it will affect the aquatic life in water, right? Then the second experiment is being related to determination of total solids in water, suspended solids and dissolved solids. Now total solids is sum of suspended solids and dissolved solids. There are two types of solids in water, suspended and dissolved. Like example of dissolved solid is, take a spoon full of sugar, add it into water and mix it well. It will make the solids are completely being dissolved in water. So it is, that solution will be called as, the percentage will be called as dissolved solids in a given sample. Suspended solids are, because of suspended solids there is turbidity in water, right? So suspended solids can be sometimes seen with the naked eyes, right, which is suspended in the water. जो आप देख सकते हो, जो that can be a dirt particles also, that can be organic particles also. Then next is experiment number 3, that is to determine the alkalinity of a given sample. Now alkalinity in water, alkalinity or basicity is one and the same thing. Alkalinity is in water is because of bicarbonate ions, carbonate ions and hydroxyl ions, right? So basically we have to determine the concentration of carbonate ions, bicarbonate ions and hydroxyl ions in water, in a given water sample. How that affect the water quality, that is being understood when we will start doing this experiment, right? I am just giving you an introduction of all the experiments that we have to perform in this lab. Second, now experiment number 4 is to determine the pH of a given water sample, that is the concentration of hydrogen ions in water, right? If by this we can understand that if it is the number is, pH number is less than 7, that shows that water is acidic in nature, or if it is greater than 7, then it shows that it is basic in nature. Now finally, after determining the pH, the second task in the same experiment is to determine the acidity of a given water sample, that is being determined on the basis of pH. Then experiment number 5, to determine the hardness of water. Now hardness can be of two types, permanent and temporary hardness. Temporary hardness is which can be removed from water by simple boiling, right? Or because of this hardness in water, you will not be able to, that water will not be able to form leather with the soap. So whenever you will add soap in water, it will not form leather if the water is hard, right? You will not be able to wash your clothes. Now experiment number 6, you need to determine the chloride ion concentration, chloride concentration in water. Now why do we add chloride in water? Chloride is a very good disinfectant, right, which helps to kill the germs which can be pathogenic and non-pathogenic, or kill the bacteria, harmful bacteria in water. So we add chlorine. So and by adding chlorine, we need to determine the chloride concentration time to time, right? Then to determine the fluoride concentration in water. Now fluoride is because of which, like there can be like if the fluoride concentration is less than the standard value, then it can cause cavities, or if it is more than standard values, then it can cause decaying of teeth, decaying of your bones, right? So this is very important to determine fluoride concentration in water. Then 8th experiment is to determine the optimum dosage of coagulants. Now in theoretical parts, theoretical portion of this environmental engineering, you will learn that why do we add coagulants in water. This is basically a part of purification of water, where we give the treatment to the particles which is very less in size. So to remove those particles, we add coagulant in water. So there is a very important experiment to determine the optimum dosage of coagulants in water for a given sample. Then next experiment is to determine the residual chlorine in a given sample. Residual chlorine means chlorine which is being left after the disinfectant action in the raw water, right? So then next experiment is the last experiment to determine the BOD of a given sample. BOD is biochemical oxygen demand. So these are the 10 experiments that you have to perform in this lab, environmental engineering lab. In the next video, you will have this experiment number 1 explained and performed. Thank you so much.